Ten Hag has come under fire these last few days, but INEOS are backing him. Omar, Berrada, Dan Ashworth have spoken out in recent interviews on Erik Ten Hag's transfer plans, where they want Manchester United to be. And Ten Hag is safe for now, but he's not necessarily safe in the long term. It has been revealed that, Dan Ashworth and Omar Berrada were not involved in the decision to keep Erik Ten Hag. Dan Ashworth and Omar Berrada, if there's no progress, will look potentially elsewhere as well. But they want to back their manager publicly because he's under a lot of media pressure. They know that the Man United manager gets it from the media more than any other manager, and I like that. So we're going to talk about Berrada's quotes, which was pre the Liverpool game. I do want to just inform you that. We want to talk about what Ten Hag would do if he was going to get sacked and what are the circumstances in which INEOS would sack Ten Hag. We're going to talk about Sancho. We're going to talk about Ashworth's interview. Please hit that like button and, of course, subscribe down below if you're new. We're on the long journey to 100,000 subscribers on the channel, and I'm on 91,892 subscribers right now, so 8 away from 91.9k. But Berrada said this: if you look at the teams that have had success for many years, it's because they have the right coach, sign the right players, have the right structure around the coach and the players. You have to make good decisions consistently. We don't just want to win the Premier League and be satisfied. We want to create a team that can fight for the Champions League, the Premier League and domestic cups on a regular basis. Basically, be the team we were under Sir Alex Ferguson. And I think Omar Berrada is absolutely spot on. If you look at the best teams, Manchester City, they've got the right manager, they've got the right players for the right manager, and they've got the right people around them. And now what Man United had was maybe they'd have the right coach, but because they didn't have the right people around the coach, they would then sign the wrong players. Maybe they had the right players, and maybe they've had the wrong coach at time and the wrong people around. Man United have only ever ticked one of these three. You need the right structure, the right coach, the right players. Now, I'm confident we've got the right structure. Dan Ashworth's shown success at Brighton and Newcastle, Omar Berrada's shown success at Manchester City, Wilcox has shown success at Manchester City and Southampton, Vivid has been very successful in the RB clubs. It's a project. It's going to take time. It's not going to be overnight success. It's a 3-year project. But we're definitely going in the right direction. We're spending money. We've got the right people there. Hopefully, we get back on track. Berrada said on Ten Hag, Erik has our full backing and we've worked very closely together in the transfer window. We're going to continue working very closely with him to help him get the best results out of the team, is what's been said. Now, interestingly, there's a lot of reports coming out post-Liverpool that Erik Ten Hag didn't want Ugarte, he wanted to keep McTominay, that he wanted Amrabat, and INEOS stopped this. And if that is true, I like elements of that from INEOS to show control of, we are going to take more control of transfers, because if you look at his recruitment, Casemiro, Anthony, Mason Mount, the money spent there, it's not been the best on the Ten Hag. But at the same time, they are saying they are working with Ten Hag. I'm sure they wouldn't sign Ugarte if Ten Hag really didn't want him. And I'm sure if Ten Hag was desperate to keep McTominay, they'd have maybe kept him. But INEOS have said we need Ugarte more than we need McTominay, which is absolutely true. Amrabat is a debatable one because of depth, but INEOS have maybe said, look, Amrabat only showed it in his last 5 games. We don't want to take that risk. We'd rather save the funds and then buy an even better player come January. I know Berrada was asked if they would still believe in Ten Hag even after a run of bad results, and he said, absolutely, we think Erik Ten Hag is the right coach. He's got the full backing, and they publicly come out and back Ten Hag, and he's not going to get sacked anytime soon. So they've backed him for now, which is good. But let's be honest, if things do get bad around Christmas time, there is a possibility that Ten Hag could go. And I saw this tweet from Phil. That performance versus Liverpool got Mourinho and Solskjaer sacked in their 3rd season, and it's the performance that would get you sacked at many other clubs, top clubs too. Ten Hag doesn't have to win the league this year, but he has to have a team that can compete. What Man United lacked today was the absolute bare minimum. They were so one-dimensional. It's actually hard to believe that either 3 points Liverpool win the season. It's just not acceptable to look like this in your 3rd season. Personally, I don't know why he left Ajax when the majority of players he wanted Ajax players. His Phil was a bit brutal here. But what Phil has mentioned is this is his 3rd season. This is what Mourinho and Solskjaer got sacked for. You need to show progress. Not expecting to win the league, but we need to see progress. And it was said that INEOS considered other managerial options during the summer, and a decision regarding Erik Ten Hag's future was made prior to the arrival of Berrada and Ashworth. INEOS have decided to back Ten Hag and have no plans to dismiss him before Christmas. However, they will expect to see clear progress in a squad capable of competing this season, as this is Ten Hag's 3rd season and it's a critical period for him, leaving little room for significant setbacks. So INEOS will back him if there is a run of bad results. But if we get to Christmas time and it's really bad and he's had a couple run of bad results, INEOS, they could axe him. Ruvan Nistelrooy is there. He's safe for now. They're going to back him. They're going to give him a run. They're going to give him probably to Christmas. But I think once it gets to Christmas time, it is make or break for Ten Hag, I believe. What has Ashworth said on Ten Hag? I've really enjoyed working with Erik for the last 8 weeks. My job is to support him in every way I possibly can, so he can fully deliver. So he can fully focus on the training pitch and the match tactical plan to deliver success to United. Completely messed it up. Now, this was said apparently pre-Liverpool game, but Ashworth is saying, look, we fully back Ten Hag. Ashworth said it's just about taking the load off him as much as possible so he can concentrate fully on training and the tactical side to ensure United have success off the field, is what's said by Ashworth. So they're saying, look, we are taking power away from Ten Hag. We want him to focus on training. We want him to focus on what happens on the pitch. So hopefully we can see success that way. And he's also not writing the season off after 3 games, not writing the season off after 3 games. The third game against Liverpool wasn't good. It wasn't encouraging. I was not happy. But let's be honest. I think, it's good that they've come out and backed Ten Hag. Yes, Ten Hag got a lot wrong and Ten Hag needs to fix up and stop making the same mistakes. And Ten Hag needs to stop these nonsense press conferences where he's making Harry Potter comments. But it is very good that INEOS have come out and publicly backed Ten Hag. It shows support. They're not going to, jump off some conclusion after the third game of the season without Højlund, without Ugarte. When the back fours played together for the first time and that Liverpool squad's all played together for ages despite it being a new manager. They're going to say, well, look, that's the Liverpool game. That could be a one-off. Ten Hag's going to learn from this. Arteta came 8th and 5th. Erik Ten Hag, but when Arteta came 5th, he showed progress. Is Erik Ten Hag going to see progress? Are we going to see a style of play? We're going to back the process. And I think that's what INEOS is doing. And I think that's absolutely fair. I think Ten Hag has to show something this season. And this can't continue. This lack of whatever it is can't continue. He definitely has to show something this season. But I think INEOS is saying, look, we're not going to jump to conclusions after 3 games. We're not in a meltdown yet. We're 3 games into the season. We can recover this. And they're absolutely right. And we've got an easier run of fixtures, so hopefully it gets better. Ashworth then spoke about sales. He said, I think with any player, whether it's Sancho, McTominay or Wan-Bissaka, if there's a preference for change of club, it's good for the player and good for us. We have to explore it. We felt we had enough squad depth in the wing position. We have 4 very good wide players and Sancho was the 5th. If it was good for him and good for us, his exit was something we were prepared to consider. Sancho wanted to take the Chelsea opportunity, not McTominay now and Wan-Bissaka wanting to take their opportunities. We're not in a position where we're showing players the door. So, I do think that INEOS have probably suggested to Wan-Bissaka, McTominay and Sancho that they leave the club, or they probably plan to sell them, but they weren't forcing them out like Chelsea were forcing out Chalobah, Sterling, etc. But it was said by Dan Ashworth with Sancho, McTominay and Wan-Bissaka, they all showed a preference to leave Manchester United this summer. Jadon Sancho, after the Fulham game, apparently went and asked to leave United, which is fair enough. We kind of expected that to happen. And he was saying Sancho, McTominay, Wan-Bissaka were players that, we were happy to keep them in the squad because we know their quality if we didn't get the right offer coming in. But they were players that if the right offer came in, we were more than willing to sell. And that's fair. McTominay is a good squad player, but he's not good enough to start. So if the right offer comes in, sell. Wan-Bissaka is a good squad player, but he wouldn't be our starting right back ahead of Delos. So if the right offer comes in, sell. And Sancho is a good player, but he's not really meant for Manchester United. Ten Hag on what we want to do. So if a good offer comes in, sell him as well. He then spoke about PSR and selling academy players for PSR. He said you have to generate money to be able to spend it again. What has changed is the number of players who only play for one club. That's a consequence of the rules. He said Scott maybe needed a change. He's been a great servant, but sometimes in life you want something different. So we have to respect what they want for their career and their life. If it's good for everyone, then we have to consider it. It doesn't mean there won't be any more one club players, but PSR rules have made it more attractive to sell players who represent pure profit. So what he's saying is McTominay was interested in leaving, was interested in moving away from United, the Napoli opportunity, and he said fair enough. And selling players like McTominay was more appealing to INEOS because 1, he's got 1 year left on this deal. They either lose him for free or they have to extend his deal. And he's not really a starting 11 player. He's a bench player who's good at depth. But 2, it's the pure profit. He's 27. He doesn't suit Ten Hag's long-term plan. It made a lot of sense to sell McTominay. And I think selling McTominay and selling Greenwood allowed INEOS to make over 50 million in pure profit, which can be invested into windows. And with United only having about a 37 million net spend, if you include the money we saved on wages and Sancho, United will have funds to invest in January if things go wrong and give Ten Hag last chance effort to bail himself out, a little bit like when Bruno Fernandes came in and saved Ollie's job. It was then said Erik Ten Hag has worked with De Ligt and Mazraoui before, but as I said, they were both on our radar and it was a joint decision, said Dan Ashworth. So Dan Ashworth has come out and said, look, Erik Ten Hag did work with De Ligt and Mazraoui, but despite rumours that, this is Erik Ten Hag signings, Dan Ashworth said, no, this isn't just Erik ten Hag signings. This is ones that we've come to a decision on. We approve every signing. We are looking at it. And Mazraoui for 15 million, De Ligt for 38 million. You can see why Ineos approved that. And I have to say, De Ligt and Mazraoui were decent versus Liverpool, despite the poor performance. But listen, people, please hit the like button. Of course, subscribe down below if you're new. Thank you for watching. Bye.